Hi there, welcome to the Brown Lounge. I'm Holly Brown, and today we are focused on Mediterranean menus. We're making a wonderful sort of dinner party menu of a tour of sorts around the Mediterranean, and Erin is actually working on that menu with me, and she's shared some wonderful recipes that she loves, like your
dolmadas.
Your dolmadas, yes, which is wrapped grape leaves. And I'm sharing with her sort of a family recipe. It's actually my husband's family recipe, and it's a lamb wrapped cabbage leaf, and it's called iabro, and it's really delicious. So we're going to do some wrapping, so to speak, for our Mediterranean menu, which you can find on thebrownlounge.com. But this particular recipe has got lamb and ground beef, ground lamb. It's got some wonderful fresh mint. We've got some nice spices, cinnamon, cumin. We've got a little allspice in there.
Yum.
So really, really flavorful. And of course, some garlic, salt and pepper, some fresh mint. And it's basically a combination of the meat with the spices and some rice, which you can see here. It's sitting in some water to just rinse it before we start using it. And then we're going to wrap it in these wonderful, beautiful cabbage leaves. And then we're going to steam it, pour a little bit of tomato sauce on top, which will be lovely. And then we're going to serve it with a little side of tzatziki.
Oh, yum.
Say that 3 times fast. So I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful meal. I'm going to kind of show Erin some of our little tips and tricks from our family. And then if you want to see her dolmadas recipe, which I really encourage you to do, because this is like a meat wrapped cabbage and hers is a vegetarian wrapped grape leaf, check it out on thebrownlounge.com. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So for this dish, we're basically rolling cabbage, and as you can see, cabbage is pretty stiff. So what we want to do is we want to soften it by steaming it, and so we want to basically cut out the center of this baby like this. So and then stick it in our steamer just like this. So what happens is the steam just sort of loosens up and tenderizes these individual pieces, and then once they're soft enough to pull off, we'll just pull them off gently, and I'll show you what that looks like when they get steamed, but it'll be really easy to roll the cabbage. So you're just going to stick it in there in a little pot of water. I've got a little basket in there for it, so it's not actually sitting directly in the water. Put the steam pot on. So now that the cabbage is in, we're going to let it steam for about 10-15 minutes. We want to make sure that the leaves are just nice enough, they're just steamed enough and soft enough to be pliable and to be able to pull them right off of the head there of cabbage, but not so much that they just are limp and then they sort of fall apart. So while our cabbage is steaming in the background, we're going to go to step 2 and just mix the meat and the rice and the spices. And as I showed you before, I have the rice just rinsed here, or just sitting in water. I'm going to pour it out. It just softens the rice and gets rid of some of that starch, just like that. Really easy. There's a little bit of residual water in there, which is really perfectly fine because it'll just add to the moisture of the meat. You don't want that to be too dry, just like that. Move it out, and we'll mix the rice and the meat all together, and then put the spices on. Again, we've got some wonderful fresh mint, got cumin, cinnamon, allspice, salt, and pepper. Just mix them all together. Fragrant, beautiful. At my house, my husband actually tastes this to make sure that I've got my spicing just right. I'm not that brave, I must say. It's raw meat, but he seems to not die from it, so it must be okay. But that's what his grandmother used to do, so he does it for me. But in any case, you're gonna love this spicing. The flavors of the allspice and the cinnamon just really come through. And then, you always say salt and pepper to taste, so I'm gonna have to give him a little taste so he can be our taste tester. So are you ready to wrap some cabbage leaves?
I am.
All right. I can't wait to show you.
Okay, good.
So here's our pretty little gently steamed cabbage leaf.
It's so flexible.
It's
Isn't that
very
nice?
flexible.
That's great.
They're very strong but flexible.
Excellent.
So here's the thing though. We've got this sort of, this edge here that's really a little bit
chewy.
Yeah, and crunchy, and actually, once you roll it, it can actually break, and that's not good.
Okay.
So I'm sure you've worked with cabbage before, and actually some of these leaves will get pretty large. So sometimes if they're really large, I'll just cut them in half as I'm cutting that.
Gotcha.
But this one's nice and small, and so similar to a grape leaf. If you think about a grape leaf, kind of has a little, a little separation piece right there. You've got the same thing going on. So you put a nice big heaping tablespoon. Well, actually, this is a smaller leaf. The bigger leaves you can put a little bit more, but I'll just put about a tablespoon of, this is the meat and the lamb and the parsley and all of the wonderful spices.
That is so good. I love the combination of spices that you put in.
The cumin and the allspice.
I know.
Awesome.
The cinnamon, yum.
So what we do is we just wrap this guy up like this, right? It's okay if a little meat's coming out right there. And you want to push this. Now, the cabbage can be a little bit, inflexible, even though you've steamed it. So you don't want to push it too hard. You just want to give it a nice turn, just like that. Just like that. And you want to make sure that you keep the little leaf side down like that. And the meat really just sticks to that cabbage. In fact, that little opening right there will be just fine.
Perfect.
When we put this all into the pot, we're actually going to pour some tomato sauce over it with some garlic.
Excellent.
And that'll be delicious.
Yum.
Now the smaller the leaf, a little bit harder to maneuver. Let me just show you when we do a bigger leaf.
Well, that one's
something
perfect.
that's a little bit, has a little bit more girth to it. Still getting rid of this little kind of tough, chewy, or crunchy I should say. We'll do that, and I think that one will turn out more secure when we fold it over. But the beauty thing about this is that everything's going to taste good, even if it doesn't look perfect.
Oh yeah.
See how that
This is peasant food.
This is
perfect.
That's right. There we go. And see, now I'm getting a little bit more leaf on the end that I can push all the way to the end and secure it just like that. And I love the way you showed me with the grape leaves to kind of grab it and tighten it and just get it really secure. And there we go.
Excellent.
Okay, so now we've got all of our cabbage rolls rolled. Cabbages rolled.
Yeah.
What I love about having some of this last bit of cabbage, which is really more the inner side, and it's too small to roll, you kind of use it as a little,
like a steamer.
Yeah, like a steamer, exactly. Steamer, thank you. And then we've got a little bit of garlic. Put a couple of garlic cloves on the bottom.
Ooh, that'll perfume all the way up through. What a good idea.
So wonderful. And then just gently, similar to what we do with that you showed me with that you do with the dolmadas with the grape leaves. We just put them around like that inside the pot. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to, get them in there so that they're nice and comfy, cozy, and we can do 2 layers. And again, if you have multiple layers, it's nice to have sort of another layer of cabbage there if you've got it. But you know what? If you don't worry about it. I'm just going to put all of those with a few more garlic cloves in between.
The garlic cloves are a great idea.
Oh, they're so good. And then once you've got all of that, we're going to pour in a mixture of tomato puree and a little diced tomatoes. And you can use canned or fresh. I like to go both ways. And then just give it a little bit of water too, because we want a little bit of a steam effect. If you don't put any water, they're going to be a little bit dry.
Because you've got the rice in there, so a little extra moisture you shouldn't be afraid of. That's a great idea.
Isn't that pretty? So gorgeous.
Yum.
Yum. It's going to be delicious. Okay, we're going to steam those, and then we're going to... Yay. Okay,